Okay. Can everyone see us?
Too sad.
It says we're on the air. Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Ash, and
Steph, hello.
If you don't hear us clearly or anything is thing, just quickly give us a message. We are not the best with technology sometimes. Well, I'm not. Stephanie is amazing. So we started a little slowly, but I wanted to welcome you to the VanHack Leap webinar. We have about 51 people on this call. We wanted to today just tell you a little bit about the LEAP program, and Steph has written some words she wants to say about the LEAP in Calgary, and also she wanted to give some inspirational words and comment for the ladies who are interested in applying, the female developers interested in applying for the program. So I'll start off. I can tell you a little bit about LEAP to start. And at the end, once we're both done, we can do some questions, and you can ask to speak, etc. I think, or just type it in the chat, and we'll just answer your questions. Okay, cool. Let's get started. The LEAP program is something that we did in Germany last year for the first time. And the idea behind it is that companies are interested in hiring developers, but hiring goes much more smoothly when it's done in person. So if a company is interested in hiring a developer, sometimes they want to meet the person in the city that they are based. So we created this program particularly for those companies. And it's also an excellent opportunity for the developers to go to the cities in Canada or in that case last year, Germany, to take a look at the city, meet some people there, and get an idea of what it's like to live there. The purpose of the program is, for this one, is to give 10 women for Calgary and 10 women for Toronto an opportunity to come to Canada. VanHack will be supporting the expenses and creating the opportunities for interviews for when they are there. We did LEAP in May this year. We had 21 developers who came to Toronto, and about 8 of them got jobs there. We also had some training provided for them when they were in Toronto. So maybe Steph can talk a little bit about the new LEAP, since I gave a little bit of the history.
Awesome. Yeah, hey everyone. First of all, a warm welcome to everyone. And so what Ash just shared is that in our last week we had mostly male developers. Now we would like to give all the great women outside a chance to come to Canada. And so we will have a LEAP first in Calgary. It's going to be the last week of October. And it's all happening for a couple of days. So literally you can meet the companies and and you can meet the companies, and we do a little bit events around it. Talking about Calgary is a wonderful city. I actually just came back from Calgary a week ago. It's close to the Rockies. I guess that is something everyone knows about. Beautiful mountains, and people are really, really welcoming and friendly over there. But anyways, we will share a little bit more about Calgary by itself. And after that leap, we will have a leap in Toronto. It's going to be the 19th of November. And maybe Ash would like to share a little bit more about Toronto. And yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And so the leap in Toronto will be done both in Toronto and Waterloo. The focus, unfortunately, Lillian, will be mostly developers, so senior development roles. We're currently gathering the jobs from the companies. We already have so many people applied, and over the next 30 days, we will choose the 20 developers for Calgary and Toronto. I can say from my side, from the Toronto side, this year, Leap will be very much senior developer roles. Where I think, full stack JavaScript, Ruby on Rails. Thank you, Ilya. Ruby on Rails, Python, Flask, Django, so frameworks such as that. If you're working with Python, and I can say some QA engineering roles as well, so QA automation and so on. And the goal will be, just because you apply, it doesn't mean if you're not chosen, you will not be considered for jobs. Leap is very much a program. Yes, we're paying for certain people to go there, but we're still looking for lots of engineers for all of our jobs. So if you don't get in, don't worry. I want you to try really hard, because your performance, when you do start the interview process for Leap and the testing process, your performance will be noted even if you are not chosen. So if you're not picked for the Calgary Leap, you may get picked for Toronto Leap. If you're not picked for Toronto Leap, we may do another one in Vancouver or Ottawa or Montreal or other cities in Canada next year. And your performance in this application process will help you a lot in the next one. So because we will always go back and say, okay, you know what, maybe we didn't give these 3 people a chance. We need to give them another chance. So that's the thing I want to say about the difference between Calgary and Toronto. I know that over the next few weeks, you may get like a coding test or something else. And so I wanted to give you an idea of what the process will look like. Now, if you're chosen for Leap, we will also give training for everyone chosen until the day of the Leap. So until the day of the event. We'll also write a letter for you to get a work visa. For you to get a travel visa to come to Canada. And we will assist you in that process to make sure you're able to come for the Leap program. Let's say you're from a country where it's harder to get a travel visa immediately, such as Pakistan or India. I'm an Indian citizen, for example. Steph is a German citizen. And let's say that, for example, you are chosen and you're from a country where it's tougher to get a visa. Then you will be able to come to the second Leap instead of the first one, because maybe it takes a longer period of time. Don't worry by the time we get to things. Yes, so we're going to do one application. You apply to both. The teams are the people are screening. I do want to add that it doesn't matter if you're chosen for Toronto or Calgary. We helped 100 plus people move to Winnipeg this year. And it's an excellent opportunity for anyone to come to Canada. And once you go to any of these places, you can then transition into another city in 1 or 2 years if you want. So yeah, and here we go. Expectations to hire DevOps with 3 years in development. If you have experience in DevOps with a few years in development, that's a perfect place to be, because not enough people know how to do DevOps in Canada. So I would say definitely you have a higher chance of getting in.
And I just want to add something in general, women, because we are great, high demand. Actually, Canadian companies looking a lot to add diversity to their team. So literally because we bring in a different approach to the development teams, and I guess all of you experienced that in the past as well. And so even what I shared, maybe not choosing for that lead right now, we are still supporting you and will keep up with opportunities in Canada. It's not just for the lead right now. It will be for future opportunities as well. just want to add that.
Yeah, there's a much higher demand, I can say, for female engineers, and that's why we're focusing on this. I just want to add that it's not that we're not focused on all developers, including male developers. It's that Canadian companies really want to see more women in the development space and working for them, because the percentage of male developers is very high. And so this is kind of an opportunity to help more women move to Canada. So, and even in the regular VanHack jobs, if you're thinking, oh, maybe I don't qualify, we definitely give everyone a good opportunity. But I know our clients, and this is, not something which VanHack controls, but I know the companies are very much interested in female engineers. So you will be considered. So please do apply for all the jobs, whether it's through Leap or not through Leap. So I'm going to answer some of the questions. So this, again, the goal of this is just to give you an idea of the LEAP program and why we're doing this, and to encourage you, to push you to put in your application as soon as possible, because we're filtering right now. As we speak, there's somebody looking at all of the applications. So I'm going to answer some of the questions. Keep putting your questions in there, and we'll keep going. So here we are. So senior developer role in any language or stack. So yeah, so the focus is senior developers, any language or stack, but we look for more modern languages and frameworks. So I would say C++ as well is one of the jobs we would consider. Java, yes, but our priority is more, JavaScript, Ruby on Rails, Python, any other kind of, front-end frameworks for JavaScript specifically, React, Vue.js. I know there's you can be chosen for one only, not both, unfortunately. If you are chosen, you can pick which one you'd like. Are there any job opportunities for .NET developers? Unfortunately, there are not. We will not be doing. Maybe we will. I'm not 100% sure.
Not now.
Yeah.
Might be changed.
It may change, but as of now, I don't see more than one, maybe two .NET jobs maximum out of the 10. How do you mean to support with work visa? Are you paying for the visa? So we will not be paying for your work visa, but I can say that many of our companies, if you are offered a job with the company, you can ask them to cover your visa and your relocation expense. And we recommend that to our companies that work with us as well. VanHack itself will not be sponsoring the work visa. It has to be done by the employer or the company that we help hire. Are there opportunities for mobile developers? Of course.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. This opportunity for any woman? Yes, any woman. Like, well, I can even say anybody who's not a man. So, I think that's the progressive Canadian way of saying it. Anyone who's not a man, yes. What is the full stack profile they're looking for? At least 3 years of experience. Like I said, a lot of MVC frameworks is what I'm seeing right now. But also, low-level languages experience is also important. Opportunity for robotic process automation developers. Wow. First of all, like, that's way cooler than what I do for a living. Secondly,
that's a unicorn.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so I mean, Carmen, I think there is an opportunity for sure. I would encourage you to get in touch with me directly, actually, because I think I might know a particular company which may not be in Leap that I can help send you to. How do you mean to support with work visa? Are you paying for the visa? I'll answer that question. Having a tourism visa, it helps on the process to be chosen for one of the 20 females. Yes, if you have one already, that's great, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. We will try to get everyone who's chosen a visa. Which front-end framework would be preferred? Angular, React, Vue. React and Vue for sure. Angular 2 as well, Angular JS as well. But really, you have to have been a front-end developer for a considerable period of time, or a full stack. Somebody who kind of knows.
So, yeah. Fabiana, I just want to answer your question. Calgary will be the end of October, the last week of October, and the one in Toronto is going to be the 19th, the week of the 19th of November. Just in general, I just want to circle a little bit back. This is a time of the event. It's probably 5 to 7 days you're going to be in Canada. So it's not just a 1 or 2 days event. We will fly you into Canada, into Calgary, and into Toronto. So we are talking about 5 to 7 days. And obviously the companies you're going to meet, they are looking to hire you. So meaning that, think about that you might come back after that to Canada soon to actually work here and live here and meet us.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yes. So some companies may give you the option, at least I'm not 100% sure if all of them will, but some companies will give you the option to work remotely to start. From what I've seen, so I can tell you based on experience from the last Leap program, which I helped run, we had the developers came to Canada. They were given job offers by, the event was May 25th. That was the day of the interviews. They were given job offers by the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd week of June. And many of them are now moving to Canada this week and next week. So it takes about 1 to 2 months, I think it will take you, from when you do the LEAP program to when you get the job offer to when you come to Canada. So I would say, of course, if you are chosen for the program, then that means your probability of getting hired is very high. So if you're going for one of the LEAP programs, I would recommend that you get it in your plans to move to Canada soon. It's pretty much I wouldn't say it's 100% guarantee, but if you are chosen, that means we're going to do whatever it takes to help you get a job in Canada. Yep.
And to help us actually to choose you, I would like to ask you if you could fill out your profile and also do the English verification, just to help us to fast the process a little bit. Talking about English, don't worry about that. As you can tell easily, I have an accent by myself. Talking about that is nothing an issue you need to worry about. Just to give us an idea where you're at. And as Ash said before, we are here to help you. We will support you. We will train you. We will do having interviews, mock interview with you before the leap. So we are actually here to support.
Yeah, I think I would say that the LEAP engineers that we chose last time, we gave them 1 to 2 months of support. We had a program. It's kind of like, think of it as your boot camp, or kind of like training regimen for if you are chosen. You will have your resumes will be redone for you. It's kind of like you're getting into like a little bit of a special class because you have proven yourself. And it's very important that you do your English verification. You don't have to have the best English. It's okay. But you have to have done your verification. If you are not to finish your English verification, and if you do not have a completed profile, then you will not be considered as one of the top candidates. And let's say we have 2 developers, one who has done the process and one who does not, and there's 1 spot left. We'll always pick the person who's done the process. It doesn't matter if you are a better developer, unfortunately. So make sure you finish your profile, you add your resume, you do your English verification in the next 2 weeks, at least in the next week, I would recommend, because we have already started to filter and pick the people for the program. So I'm going to go over the requirements a little bit more in detail. And if you have any more questions, keep adding them and I'll continue to answer them. Okay, so the requirements in detail is 3 years of work experience as a software developer. We will give preference to people who have a computer science degree, but it's not 100% a requirement. Okay. Other things to keep in mind would be, like I said, MVC frameworks like Rails or Django or Flask or anything else in that area, even Spring Boot, because these are used more and more by the kind of software companies we work with. We also have low-level programming jobs such as QA automation engineers, C++ engineers, robotics, etc. That's also another area of focus, at least in the Waterloo region. That's what we focus on. What is the other requirements would be, if you have any leadership experience, but it's good, but we are really looking for people who are hands-on developers, so people who are writing code every day. You can be a senior developer, an architect, but it's important that you have, you are working on solving problems and writing code each day. We will also consider people with good DevOps experience, etc. When we go through the profiles. Is there going to be any challenges like a hackathon or interviews? There will be a dev skiller test being sent to you to do. So we'll send you a coding test that you need to do if you're one of the people shortlisted. So by the way, if you make it to a shortlist, you're already a winner, but you're not going to get thing. But you need to
Actually, everyone is a winner.
Everyone.
Not just the shortlist.
Everyone is a winner. But the people in the shortlist will be sent a test, and if you do the test well, or if you just do the test, we'll get a good idea of your technical ability, and based on you doing the test successfully, we will put together a full profile and then evaluate all the people with the full profile. Opportunities for Linux engineers. There is. So if you're a Linux engineer with a background in DevOps, there is, but I don't know if it would be for Leap particularly. It is not equivalent to a permanent residence in Canada. If you get a work permit through the LEAP program, by getting hired, you can get your permanent residence in about 1.5 years. But you will be eligible to live here and work for a company.
Maybe about the work permit. It's a work permit connected to the company who is going to hire you. It's not an open work permit.
Yeah.
So it's a 2 years closed work permit, and usually after a year you can apply for your permanent residency in Canada. I'm going through a different process. It takes, then what I said, maybe 1.5 years until you get it. But just adding that.
It's an excellent opportunity for you to get a job in Canada and be sponsored. And I just want to add that let's say that you have a spouse or children, they will come to Canada with you. So your spouse, if you have a spouse, will also have a work permit to work in Canada. So they will also be able to work from the day that you arrive. Both, let's say you do have a family. This is in case. You have to apply to the LEAP jobs on VanHack's platform to be considered. You can also apply to other jobs as well, but you will not be considered for the LEAP program if you don't apply for the LEAP job.
One wish I have, talking about Calgary and Toronto, and Ilya shared the information before, maybe get a little bit familiar how the cities are, to make sure you would like it over there. Both cities are beautiful, but there are differences, just for you to get an idea how it is to be there.
Yeah, I think that both cities are very different. I would say that Calgary is better as a landing place if you have a family, because it's easier to go to work. There are more jobs for your spouse, maybe, and it's a good place.
A lot of sun.
Yeah, it gets one of the most sunniest places in Canada. Yeah. That said, Toronto has more companies, and but it will take you longer, say, to drive to work or to go to another place in the city, because it's a big city and it's crowded, and yeah. So they have their own pros and cons. Toronto is a good place in long term for your career, I think. Calgary is a good place long term for if balance is more important to you. I think those are the two key differences from the cities.
Probably Calgary is more affordable.
Calgary is more affordable than Toronto, but you do get paid more money in Toronto. I'm sorry. So just to give you an idea, Stephanie is the main head of the LEAP program, but she works primarily with Calgary companies, and I work primarily with Toronto companies. So therefore, we have a bit of a rivalry, I guess. Stephanie always wins, of course, because she is the woman.
Because I'm the woman.
Yes. Okay. How do you? So I'll give you an overview of the selection process. So once you apply, if you have a completed profile, that's an English test, and if you are finish your VanHack profile as well, we are shortlisting the people who are developers in particular for this one. I'm sorry, but this one, if you are a developer, if you meet the requirements, then we will send you a coding test. Someone may also call you to make sure you do the coding test, but it's important that you do the coding test. Once you finish the coding test, we will filter based on the jobs companies give us, and we will call you for a 30-minute screening interview. with a VanHack team member. So this 30-minute screening interview is mandatory for everyone involved. Once you finish the 30-minute screening interview and we get a good idea whether you're a fit, then we will shortlist you and send you to the companies that have signed up for Leap. If you are chosen, you will go through one interview and possibly another coding test with the companies that have chosen you. Once that's done and you've made it through that process, you are selected for the Leap program. We may accelerate this process for people in Calgary, depending on timing. But for the most part, expect to get a coding test if you are a developer in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. Is there an opportunity for C# developers? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but could be. But again, C#.NET, not as much, unfortunately. But I don't want to rule you out for sure.
No, but doesn't mean it's not on demand. It might just not on demand for our Leap, but there are companies looking for it. So
for sure. So just to be aware, be very thing. Leap is a program by VanHack, which is different from our core, services that we provide for engineers. Leap is meant only for particular 20 people for this year, but you can apply to any job in VanHack and be considered. So I just want to be very clear about that.
Because it will also not every of our companies participant in Leap. So.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah. So what is it for VanHack when we get employed? So VanHack does this because I'm not from Canada myself, neither is Stephanie, neither is Ilya or anyone else. We really believe that in helping people provide them a new life and a new opportunity in Canada, because I moved here 10 years ago and I like helping people move here as well. On the other side, companies do compensate VanHack for our services and finding them the right developers. So we're running this contest because companies are paying us for our services to find them the right engineers. Lastly, companies are also very hesitant in applying for visas, etc., and VanHack supports the entire process for both the company and the engineer. So we provide this kind of as a bridge for hiring engineers. Is there a deadline for the application? Yes, their deadline is
mid of September, 15th of September. But that being said, if you need a visa or something, as sooner is better. We are selecting already, and we are picking already, and as I shared, we're sending.
We may shut it down before, if we find all of the people, maybe.
Well, you can still apply until the 15th of September, but as sooner is better because we are screening already.
Okay. How can you schedule your English verification? You're going to receive an email. I'm going to make sure that I'm saying the right thing because we do have somebody who understands the actual sign-up process a little bit better. And she will send me, Deza will send me a message if I'm wrong. But even if you have an IELTS exam, you still have to do the English verification. And to do the English verification, you need to answer it. You'll get a link with an email to a third-party provider that we use. They're known as Lingo Center. You get an email from the Lingo Center, and you have to do the verification by doing a call with them. Can I just attach your LTS? No, you cannot. Do I have to be a senior developer? So we consider a senior developer to be anybody with 3 years of work experience as a software developer. So it's not as high as some bars.
But also just for Leap, right? So we have other positions where 2 years is totally fine. So please keep that in mind.
What type of skills are employers looking for? Again, as senior developers, modern languages and frameworks. The jobs can be done remotely, example from Brazil. No. So the requirement for this program is that you will have to move to Canada if you are chosen and employed. So if you want to stay in Brazil and work remotely, then you are not going to be eligible for this program. Unfortunately, this is to move to Canada. We will consider you for remote jobs. So please let us know if you want remote jobs instead, because otherwise, so we do have some people that do work remotely from Brazil for our clients as well. So the link for your English verification is on top of your link of your VanHack profile. If you have not done it, it just stays there. Just click the link, get it done.
Exactly.
And don't be I think the best thing to say is you have to, it's like you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you eat your breakfast. And if you don't do that, you cannot, have a good day, right? So same thing with VanHack. You finish your English verification and you finish your VanHack profile, and now you're eligible for jobs. So it's very simple. Everyone has to do it, and don't hesitate. Don't wait.
No, and how can we know how creative you are if you don't finish your profile, right?
That's right.
That's true.
Okay, the link is on top. You can apply for invocation on your VanHack profile, as Andreza said. You can find Andreza on the Slack channel at VanHack-Deza. You can send her a message if you have any questions about this. What if my husband is a programmer too? Will VanHack get a job for him? For sure.
Yes.
Like, no doubt. If you are selected in the LEAP program, for example, we helped an engineer get a job in Waterloo recently. His wife is a developer as well. I am now trying to help her get a job as well. So we will help you both. Is the job experience for 2 years compulsory? Can graduates of senior universities or seniors in university apply? So you need, if you're if you have a specialization, like let's say you're Brazilian, for example, you have the word specialization or master's, you can also apply. We do want 2 years of work experience. I'm sorry, but you cannot. It's tougher to get a visa if you don't have those 3 years of work experience. For what city will the chosen girls go for this interview? Possibly both. We will ask you what your preference is when we do a call with you.
But you need to decide beforehand. And if you fly to Calgary, you go to Calgary, right? And if you fly to Toronto and have interviews in Toronto, you will go to Toronto, maybe Winnipeg. Calgary might be a company from Edmonton as well. But but it will not be an interview in Calgary and you probably work in Toronto. It's most likely not.
Yeah. So I think you have to pick one of the two cities, unfortunately. How long will the trip last? It'll be 1 week. So you will arrive on, let's say you leave your country of origin on Friday or Saturday of the weekend. You arrive on the Sunday. The program starts on Monday, Tuesday. The interviews will probably be on Tuesday. And then you have 3 more days where the companies can continue to interview you, figure out the offer and make an offer to you. Yes, so if you are sponsored for a visa, your spouse will also get a work permit, and your children will get study permits if you have children.
And it will be an open work permit, so there are no issues, no problem. Doesn't matter which industry the spouse is working at.
Mm-hmm. And are the jobs for LEAP in Calgary and Toronto? There will be jobs in Waterloo, Ottawa, Edmonton, but we're just using 2 of the core cities for the interviews. You may get a job offer in a different city, possibly. For the Toronto one, I know we are taking you to Waterloo as well. But you cannot find the link for the English test. Maybe Deza, we can share the link in the chat for the English test. That would be pretty helpful, I think. When will I know if I've been selected to take the exam? You're going to find out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'm here in Toronto studying English without perfect English.
No worries, sir.
Yeah, so you don't need to be perfect in English. I would say that if your English is good, because there is no actual English requirement for getting a work visa through the Global Talent Stream program. So you don't have to take an English test outside of VanHack, of course, to get a visa. So if you are selected, possibly you can have average English as well. Like DevOps or more ops. To be honest, we haven't really thought of that. If we have more DevOps jobs, we will probably have you speak to a DevOps engineer who will evaluate your ability. Must you have all the skills to apply? No, you don't need all the skills to apply. Just apply. We will evaluate. So think of it as you need to express your interest, finish the process, and we will evaluate whether you are fit for the jobs. Okay. The LEAP jobs, the particular jobs, we will filter you after you have been chosen.
How do they find them? They are on our platform.
Yeah.
The LEAP jobs. It says one is Calgary and one says Toronto LEAP.
I got a schedule my English verification call. I got an email that my English has verified the day after that. My schedule is still there. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe reply to that email or send an email. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Can you talk a little more loud? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was just reading. I apologize. I was just reading. Maybe reach out with this question to us directly, please.
Okay, EU citizen also need a visa. If you're a European Union citizen, you can probably get a visa on landing, but you do need a work visa to work in Canada. Got my English verified for SP Fair. If your English has been verified on your profile, then you don't need to do it again. I'll pretend. Yep, you still have time to do English verification.
Just start as soon as you can, but you're still perfectly in time. No worries about that. Visa for Canada.
You need a tourist visa for the visa for Leap. We will help you get your tourist visa if you are chosen to come here for the Leap program to do interviews. 3 years experience as a developer, can it be job related to tech? Well, let's say you could have been an analyst for 1 or 2 years and then you're a developer. You may be considered, but 2 years of hands-on development experience is very important for this program. We will let you know if you're in the shortlist. We will also let you know if you're not in the shortlist.
And we will call you anyways.
Okay. Will the link for this webinar be available for people who weren't able to join? I'm not 100% sure. Deza, can you help me with this?
Just keep going.
Okay, I will let you know when I found out. Do you want to...
When are the interviews and coding tests happening? As we are... Oh yeah, great. So it's actually recorded. So if you just joined, you can see what we were talking about before. And also coding tests as we started to do the screening already on Monday. Be ready that some coding tests will be sent out maybe starting tomorrow, next week, the next couple of days for sure. And it will happening over the next couple of weeks. And interviews are happening after the coding test from our side. Or Juliana, I'm not sure if you mean interviews with the company or interviews with us as VanHack. So we will talk to you, we will call you after the coding test, but obviously if you're invited for the Leap, companies will have interviews as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Same for...
Yeah, so I'll give you a timeline again for those who joined late as well. So the timeline is going to be, we have already started filtering and picking the people. In fact, there's already a shortlist with 99 developers, which has been submitted for the Calgary Leap. What we're going to do is, don't worry, we will continue to add to that shortlist, of course. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, you will start getting coding tests. It's a simple test. It's not going to be too hard. Don't worry. It's like really just to see if you can code and if you know the language or framework that you're a specialist in. So we will send that to you. Please complete that as soon as you can. Once you have a completed profile, you have been chosen and given the coding test, then we will do a phone call with you. And then you will be picked for the shortlist to be sent to companies. Now, if one company chooses you through their process, which will take probably between the beginning of September until the end of September, you will get chosen. And then either way, we will give you a letter to try to help you get your visa in advance. And then if one of the companies choose you, and then you will be sent to the companies for a pre-interview, and finally you'll meet the companies in person. You cannot find a job with your coding language in Canada. I'm not sure what your language or framework is, Florence, but maybe you can send me a message after the call. It's VanHack -Ash Slack channel, and I'm happy to answer your question in more detail. Okay.
Cool.
I think this is good. We just wanted to do this call mainly to tell you to apply, finish the process, finish your resume. It doesn't matter. You can upload a 1-page written sheet of paper as your resume, but don't do that, of course, but just finish the process as soon as you can to be considered.
Exactly.
Don't worry if your resume is not updated. Don't worry
about mistakes either or something. We will walk with you afterwards through everything. So don't worry about things like that right now.
So
we are here to help. We will help you the next months in the moment you get chosen. So
do you have to apply for the Leap jobs in VanHack to be shortlisted? Yes.
Yes, but we will help you. So don't worry about resume. Don't worry about English. Apply. You have really nothing. Just try it.
Yeah.
That's great. Go for it.
And it's not done only once a year. It's going to be done more than once. So the people who apply for this program will be reconsidered. That's why we want you to go through the entire process, because maybe you're chosen and you cannot come immediately. Then we'll give you a chance for the next one. There will be a leap in other cities in Canada as well, probably at the start of the next year. So don't worry, just go through the process. And then maybe if you are chosen to do a call with the VanHack team, then you can mention that, hey, thank you so much, but I'm interested I'm only able to come in a few months or something, But this is the best opportunity because this is the first one. So the demand will be higher from the companies. So you have a higher chance of getting a job. If you are chosen, you do not have to spend, I'm not 100% sure, actually.
Well, we're paying for the flight and accommodation, so
Okay.
that we will share a little bit more information about that on a later point. We are looking into certain things right now.
I know that we will help you get your flight tickets, and we will give you a place to stay in the city. We're going to try to put everyone together in one place, and that way, everyone can feel excited and support each other as well. So it'll be good. Last time it was a lot of fun with the developers in Toronto. We all went for food and ate together, talked together, worked together to get jobs in Canada. Do you need a resume? I filled my professional education section on my VanHack profile. You need to upload a resume. Like I said, it can be a one-page document that you've written, summarizing thing. Print your LinkedIn profile and attach it as your resume, but it needs to have details about your job. There is a VanHack resume template that I recommend you use if you don't have a resume and you just need to make one. So,
really important. Fill out all the information. This is what we need to make the decision. It's really important.
So if you have any questions about the LEAP program, the person running the program is my colleague, Steph. You can send her a quick message. That's VanHack-Stephanie. So Juliana, the good news is among the 20 chosen, I want everyone to be hired.
Me too.
If it was up to me, I would book a one-way ticket for you and your family to Canada, but I cannot. I have to make sure you get a job. So the goal is to have 100% of everyone hired. This is not a 10 people come and there's only 5 jobs. No, 10 people comes, there will be more than 10 jobs. And that is our goal.
I want to share, I talked already to a couple of companies and they are super excited. Really excited. They cannot wait. Yes, what I say is, everyone is probably getting hired.
The ones who are chosen, the goal is to pick the best. And, or at least to pick good developers. One of the things that companies really like is, not just that you're a good developer, but that they can see your personality as well. So definitely don't worry just about your coding skills. We just want to get an idea, and that's it. The 20 chosen will go to Canada in October for Calgary.
Last week of October, 29th of October.
29th.
But probably you fly in on Friday or Saturday, so it's 27th or something. Yeah.
Okay, and the ones chosen will come to Toronto on the 19th. There is a chance for junior to, I would say, more intermediate developers, not junior developers, to be honest.
Depends how junior.
Yeah. The VanHack template, I'll ask Deza to send over the VanHack template in her next email to the list. So in case you don't have a resume, you can use the template to create one to attach it as soon as possible. Please check your spam, your everything for VanHack's emails about Leap. Make sure you have check all of your inboxes, everything. Make sure you do, because you may miss something. So make sure you set up a filter on Gmail. For example, if it says it comes from vanhack.com, then it's put as priority, get a text message notification. I don't know, make sure you don't miss the email. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good. Are we?
I don't know if you have any more questions.
No.
We're here. Happy to answer. If not, reach out to us. But apply. Don't worry. Go for it. It's going to be very, very exciting, and can't wait to meet you.
Yeah. I think it was one of the best experiences for the engineers and for me as well. The last LEAP program, and we're doing this particularly because Steph is a big advocate for women developers in Canada as well, and I think it is not necessary that you put the resume in the VanHack format, but I think Steph is always saying that we need more and more female applicants. So no matter what your experience is, just apply. Even if you're not a developer, apply for the program. Even if you're like, not 3 years experience, apply for the program. Just finish your VanHack profile and get ready. You may not be chosen, but I want everyone to apply and finish the process, because you may be chosen for a UX designer leap in the future without realizing it.
And I just want to add, and even so if you're not chosen for that one, we will look to find you a different job on our regular VanHack platform. So not being chosen for leap doesn't mean we don't
even if you don't.
So please keep that in mind. This is really, really important. So we will constantly support you. If it's leap or if it's not, we will try to help you. If you're looking to relocate to Canada, for example, or Cool. QA might be, I'm not quite sure yet, but please, Antonia, do apply and fill out everything.
And most importantly, fill out. I'm going to send some of you messages individually next week, and if people don't fill out their resume or their profile, then you're going to get an email from me warning you about it. No, I'm kidding, but please finish your process.
We cannot.
We can't consider you, and I want to consider you. Amibola, Liz, Ashraf, Antonia. Have you finished the process? Fernanda, Mayara,
yes,
Elizabeth,
please. We cannot
Anna,
consider you.
Michelle.
And if we do shortlist, and if you haven't done anything since you signed up and your profile is empty, no resume, no English verification, we don't wait 4 weeks for you to finish your profile. So please try to do it in a short.
QA analysts, just apply, okay? The companies will be startups and big companies. So we have seen a lot of interest from companies of all sizes. There will be a recording sent at the end of this. Just finish the process, and we will talk to you. Don't worry, we're going to have one more webinar probably next week or the week after to give you an update.
But it's recorded.
But this one is also recorded as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I hope you feel the urgency. Just try, guys. Come on. You can do it. If you finish the process, you'll be verified VanHacker, finished English, resume updated. You have finished the process. Yeah.
And don't be shy. Not at all.
Yeah. I think Steph can speak from experience.
I came to Canada 3 years ago. So yeah, I know how it feels. So don't be shy. Just go for it. You have nothing to lose. It's a great opportunity. It's super exciting, actually. And yeah, teams here waiting for you. Employers are so thrilled to get women into their teams. I'm talking to so many, trust me. So yeah. And if you have questions, ask us. Bye-bye.
Ciao.